Hi, Bashar.
And you, good day.
I've heard you speak in the past about habits and addictions.
Yes.
In the sense that once you recognize the pattern is a choice and no longer a habit.
Once you recognize you have a habit, you have a pattern, it's no longer a pattern, it's no longer a habit. From that point forward, if you keep doing the same thing you say you don't prefer to do, it's because you're choosing to. And if you are choosing to, it's because your motivational mechanism is making it appear that the thing you say you prefer is not the thing you prefer, and making you perceive that the thing you don't prefer is the thing you prefer. So you would have to find out what those definitions are that are attached to those things in the polar opposite way in which they naturally would be, and change that orientation back into the way that's most aligned so that you can then do the things you prefer and not do the things you don't.
In other words, figure out what I believe to be true about not having this addiction or habit.
First, you have to figure out what you believe to be true about yourself in relation to any situation in your life that would allow you to trigger into the negative definition that results in the addictive behavior. You have to identify what that definition is. It usually has something to do, though not always, but usually has something to do with your own issues of self-worth. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So when you find out what those definitions are you're buying into that are really out of alignment with who you prefer to be, you will see that they are nonsensical and illogical, that you pick them up from other people, that they have nothing to do with who you really are, and when you really come to terms with that, you will drop them. And as soon as you drop them, you'll reorient yourself and you will choose to do the things that are in alignment with who you really prefer to be. It's about the idea of getting in touch with your own self-empowerment, of understanding that you are completely in charge, completely in control, completely self-empowered, even when you're creating experiences of disempowerment, and even when you're creating experiences of disconnection, they're just experiences. They're not empirically true, because you have to be connected in order to have an experience of disconnection. You have to be empowered in order to create an experience of disempowerment. Once you understand that, once you really take that in and take it to heart, then you won't need to express the illusion of disempowerment. This is what we've called the 13th step. It's knowing that you are a different person. Yes, you can start with believing that you are, but you have to really get to the point where you know you are. And that has to show in your behavior, because knowingness and behavior are synonymous. What you know you can do, what you know you are, you just do. You don't think about it. You don't wonder if you believe it to be true. You just do it. It's absolutely ingrained in your truth. That's the state that allows you to actually make the shift in the way we refer to as the 13th step, where you know you are a different person totally, which means it's not that you no longer have the addiction, it's that you never had it to begin with. And therefore there would be no urges, because there was never any reason to have them to begin with, because you have a different history, you have a different future, you're a different person in a different reality, and that idea of addiction never had anything to do with you. I understand that there may need to be processes in your belief systems that allow you to ultimately get to that realization, get to that point of knowingness about yourself, and that's fine if there are. Nevertheless, all I'm saying is the only reason that these processes usually exist, at least to the degree that they do, because sometimes some process is necessary for you to appreciate what it is you've discovered about yourself, because that's the whole point of having the life, of having the experience. But nevertheless, sometimes many people on your planet, because of negative beliefs, will take these processes much farther than they need to be taken. And the idea is, as soon as you make a differentiation, as soon as you lay down the law, this is a difficult thing to do. There's so much of a difference between the idea of believing it and knowing it to be true. As soon as you lay down the law and create the need for the process, then you have to go through the process. But if you really, really understand what we're saying about the nature of existence, and you know that you don't need a process beyond a certain point, then you don't need to experience it beyond that point. Is this making sense?
It is. So it's more of a decision than acting as if, even, because in the acting as if, there's a kind of...
Absolutely. It is an absolute decision. And it is beyond acting as if, because it is knowing that it is.